Happy Saturday. Today's ebony figure is Dr. Lewis T. Wright, who is a native of LaGrange, Georgia, where he graduated from Clark Atlanta University in 1911 and completed medical school from Harvard University in 1915. Initially, Dr. Wright was rejected from Harvard because admissions did not feel his education background was competent to continue onto the next level in their program. At the time, historically black colleges and universities were not seen as adequate when it came to applying to their predominantly white institutions, but Dr. Wright proved them wrong. In addition to attending an HBCU, he didn't meet the chemistry requirement for admissions, so he went to the chemistry professor himself, Dr. Otto Folin, and challenged his appeal. Eventually, Dr. Folin made a deal with him that if he passed the oral chemistry quiz, he would be accepted into Harvard, and in 1911, he began his journey. In medical school, Dr. Wright excelled as a student, but he was faced with inevitable racial discrimination. Entering his third year, his classmates began their semester at Boston Lying-In Hospital to study obstetrics, the study of delivering babies, and because he was black, he was suggested to go elsewhere. Dr. Wright told his higher-ups that he had paid for the same amount of money for this program as his classmates did, so he wants what the catalog called for, and he got just that. Some years after graduating and working in the hospital, Dr. Wright enlisted in the Army and became a first lieutenant medical officer during World War I. He noticed that the official military procedure to inoculate or immunize Army men from smallpox disease was not feasible, so he developed a new test that did. The Army's method of inoculation required 2 cuts on clean skin to rub in the small virus sample with a sterile needle, and over a few days, immunity was determined by its features. The problem was that these takes were not accurate, and brown and black men's skin did not respond well either. So Dr. Wright developed intradermal injections, the current method of injecting a small sample of the virus into the skin. This method became the new official standard for vaccinations in the U.S. Army and across the medical field. While Dr. Wright had a heavy hand in modernizing medicine, he was also a strong advocate for integration in healthcare. After struggling to find a job as a doctor in the New York hospital system, he finally landed at Harlem Hospital, becoming the first black staff surgeon under Superintendent Dr. Cosmo O'Neill. Due to racism, Dr. Wright's white colleagues resigned and Dr. O'Neill was bumped from his position. But Dr. Wright fought hard with the help of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People to get black people to work in the hospital, and he eventually got Dr. O'Neill his job back as well. Most importantly, he stopped the mayor's project proposals of building separate hospitals, as Dr. Wright felt that black hospitals would be neglected and black patients are in just as much of need as any other patient. When he became the chief surgeon at Harlem Hospital, he hired both black and non-black doctors because he strongly believed that a person's merit should determine their job qualification. We thank you, Dr. Wright, for all you've done in our community. Your legacy lives on.